Welcome back, guys. Throttle Gaming here, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about my top 7 hardest heroes to master, or even just play in general. But before we get into that, I'm just wanting to say I'm making this video just because I'm hoping Tuesday that server browser update drops along with some new information on the next hero. Because if you guys haven't heard, Jeff Kaplan was saying how Hero 24 is not who we think it is, and as of recently, I mean, all this information we've been getting leading up to Terry Crews's mock audition was that it was going to be Doomfist, or at least if it wasn't Terry Crews, someone else playing Doomfist. But that's not the case. There is some speculation on another hero that was one of the founders. I forgot his name, but he might be the next one, so I'm hoping Tuesday we'll actually get some legit information locked in, not just some speculation. But no more about that, let's get right into it. So Hanzo, in my opinion, why he takes the number 7 slot over some other characters, in my opinion, like over Widowmaker, is his bow is honestly harder to use, at least for me, than Widowmaker, because you get that scope and it's just a straight shot compared to his arrow, how, you know, it has drop on it, and then also his utilities are just so much more useful than hers. And I don't mean to just compare the two, but just in general, his sonar arrow, for instance, is great for just constant use, finding out where the enemy team is if they're trying to flank. Or there's his scatter arrow, which is good for taking out tanks, or just an easy insta-kill on those 200 health heroes. And then finally coming down to his ultimate, how it's just so much easier to kill groups of teams, you know, if they're bottlenecked or if you're trying to bottleneck them. His ultimate's great for that because it'll push them to one side or the other. Because if you get caught in that thing, that's an insta-kill right there. If you pair that with a Graviton Surge, that's a team kill. So yeah, guys, that's my opinion why Hanzo's taking the number 7 slot, and let's get into number 6. Alright, so coming into the number 6 slot, I got Winston, which I know might come as a surprise to some, but here's my reasoning why, so let's get into it. Winston is probably, if not the only tank that has like so much mobility, along with that 500 health pool, so it just makes him really a valuable tank if you're good with him. If you guys ever seen Miro, he's just an incredible Winston. Like, I don't even know how he does it, but he's just able to get in there, disrupt the team, and still get out alive. Even though Winston's got like probably the biggest crit box in the game, and he's so easy to take out. Just that mobility, I think, is why he's a good tank, you know, and along with his jump. I've been killed so many times with just a little bit of health, and then Winston just comes in and jumps. I've seen him get double kills. It's crazy. I've done it myself. And then another reason why he's pretty good is that if you're able to window your health down, if you got your ultimate to as low as possible as it can get, and then press triangle or whatever your guys is playing on, use his ult, you get all your health back, and then you're just able to even disrupt the team more while they're all focused on you. Your team can pick them off, and then even the damage that you do in Primal Rage is rather significant. I never really thought about it, but I had a play of the game where Zarya grouped them all up and I was Winston in my Primal Rage, and he killed all 5 of them like rather quick. It's pretty amazing. And though there's other tanks that I'm say are way better, like Roadhog, for example, or Reinhardt, like, why pick Winston when there's these other ones? I would just say just because of his mobility, if you can master that and getting in and out, and just being able to survive is really just makes Winston a good gun, along with his Tesla cannon, which is able to go through shields, like Reinhardt's shield, and I'm pretty sure it can go through Symmetra's shield as well. So it's just really good for those types of engagements as well, if they got a Reinhardt or a Symmetra on the other team. Alright guys, that's going to do it for number 6, and let's get into number 5. Alright, so let's get underway with the next hero. and I'm gonna say it's Zarya, just because, in my opinion, she is probably the most valuable tank in the entire game. She's my favorite tank to play as, honestly, just because she's so much fun to use. You get to use that ultimate right there. It's just so fun getting all those multi-kills with that, and then along with getting to 100 energy, which is just, oh, once that happens, you know, that team, they better start heading for the hills, because they're gonna die. But yeah, just why she's so essential, just because, honestly, her abilities, they're able to keep you alive, or they're able to keep the other teammates alive. Like, if you got a healer at low health, and you're able to throw a bubble on them, that gives them enough time to get out of there, or heal up just enough so that they can stay in the fight, and heal your teammates up even more. And then along with that is her ultimate, which is just, see, as I got right there, there's just a quintuple like that, and then it's just so fun seeing that, getting your teammates kills, and then just able to hold them off for another however long. So she's really good for competitive, honestly, and good for quick play, and she's just fun to play if you can get good with her. The only faults I see, really, sometimes when I see new people trying to play Zarya, is they'll either use her bubbles too early or too late. Because if you use it before you enter a fight, and then it's gone by the time they start shooting at you, or if you use it too late, you're already at half health, and then, yeah, you have the damage, but you don't have enough health to be able to stay alive in the fight. So just look out for that. I know that Sombra can be a bit of an annoyance too when fighting as a Zarya, because she can just hack you, and then you can't use your bubbles or your ult or anything, and then you're basically useless if you have low enough energy. Like, anything below 40, you're not going to be too useful, just because you can't do enough damage to kill those tanks or disrupt the enemy team. And then for the Graviton Surge, I mean, the best you can do is work with what you got. I see, like, I just wasted it there shooting it at the wall. I think I meant to shoot it on the other side, because I think they went up the stairs. But yeah, just be smart with that, because there's so many characters that can just eat or reflect or just nullify your ult, like Zenyatta, Mei, Genji, Divas. They can all counter your ult really well. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for the number 5 slot. Let me know what you think, if you like Zarya, if you're good with her or not, and just how you think some other players can improve if they have any questions. Alright, let's get into number 4. Alright, so Tracer, where to start with her? Well, she's the most mobile attacker, honestly, in my opinion, and she's probably one of the best just for getting around and behind the enemy team, like I am right now. Like, I'm already behind them and killing 3 of their players, and they don't even know what hit them. Like, yeah, they're AI, but you know what I mean, right? So she's just so good for that, being able to pick off those low health enemy players, or any player that's trying to go get a health pack and they're off by themselves. She's also good at taking down tanks. She can hit them in the head, 2 clips and they're done. Honestly, it's really not even fair how fast she reloads. She just spins her guns and done. And then coming up next is her ultimate. I think, honestly, Tracer's ultimate is probably one of the few ultimates that you can use when there's only like 1 or 2 players there, just because she can build it so fast. Just shoot at tanks a few times, get maybe 2 or 3 kills, and that's an ultimate right there. It pairs really well with anything pairs well with the Graviton Surge, but if you can get it when they're in like a bottleneck or something where they're grouped up, the blast radius is so huge that it'll just kill at least 3 or 4 of them. And I think the damage is somewhere around 400, 450. I mean, it is annoying when you see stuff like that, and Lucio just boosted everyone. But yeah, it's just really useful for taking out a lot of those low enemy players. And even as, I'm pretty sure I might do it soon, but shoot a Roadhog, stick it on him, he's dead. Even if he was healing mid explosion, he'd probably die just from the amount of damage it does. And even her back in time ability, where she can recover her health, is pretty useful, just because if you're going up against a 1v1 against a tank, or like say a Reaper, someone who does a lot of damage, you just get that health back and go back at them and hopefully kill them if you're quick enough. So yeah, that's why I think Tracer's taking that number 4 slot and just so useful. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for Tracer. Let me know what you think. Is she your favorite attacker? Who is? If not, on this list, let me know. Alright guys, let's get in to number 3. Alright, so I got Anna in the number 3 slot right now just because she's the best healer in the game, in my opinion. Just because she's able to do the most healing per shot with her rifle. If you're good enough with her, like, I'm not that good with her, honestly, but I'm able to save this Reinhardt right here, and we're just able to kill the whole team. So yeah, honestly, I think that's why she's so useful and used in almost every match, just because she's able to heal so much and keep people alive, in addition to her ultimate, but we'll get into that. So she's probably got the most significant ability of all the healers, or support class I should say, her Bionic Grenade, which has like 3 functions. It heals you, it increases the incoming healing for your team, and it keeps the enemy team from getting healed for a certain amount of time. So I think that's just probably the best support item in the whole game at this moment. And then her second ability, the Sleep Dart, probably the funnest thing to use and pretty useful, honestly, if you can use it on someone that's using their ultimate, like a Roadhog or anyone really. Later in the video you'll see this Roadhog's trying to get me, and I sleep him, and then he gets up and I sleep him again. I'm pretty sure I get out of there alright, but yeah, it's just funny to see when someone thinks they're gonna kill you, then you just sleep dart them. And then coming down to her ultimate, really, I think later in the video I do ult a Lucio when I meant to get 76, but he still gets a quad, you know. It's like when someone's nano boosted, and if they're good enough, they'll kill the team. Doesn't matter what character they are, really. So just be mindful of that. If it's just you and someone else and their support, if they're good enough, like say Symmetra or something, nano boost them, give them a shot. So yeah, there's that. And just honestly, that's why Anna is taking the number 3 slot. Just best support in the game. Does damage from a distance. She can pick off snipers if they're sharp enough, you know, or they can slow down the healing rate of those enemy tanks. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for the number 3 slot, and let's get into number 2. My main man Genji, taking the number 2 slot. I know someone's saying, well, why isn't he in number 1? I heard Genji's the hardest hero to play at. You'll see once you see the number 1. But yeah, Genji, my favorite hero, honestly. This match, I was sucking butt, like bad. You'll see a lot of editing, but it's just because, I don't know, I wasn't having it this game. Even against AI, like, sometimes you have off games, you know how it is. But yeah, Genji, favorite hero, favorite attacker. I have the most hours played with him. So let's get straight into it. Why is Genji in the number 2 slot? He's so mobile. I wouldn't know if he's as mobile as Tracer, just because she can move side to side and like around the map more, but he's got that double jump and the wall climb that just make him so valuable. And then his abilities, he's got the Swift Strike, where when you get a kill with it, you get to use, or when you just get a kill in general, you get to use it, it automatically resets, which is just huge, right? You'll see the play of the games where he just goes back and forth, and that's just because you get to re-Swift Strike after every kill, which is pretty huge. And then the next one, Reflect, where you can reflect any projectile. It doesn't matter what it is. You got, let's say, a Mei ult, Zarya ult, Reinhardt's Fire Strike, Sleep Darts. You can even reflect 76's little health pack, but you just don't see that as often just because it's real hard. So yeah, anything and everything you can reflect as a projectile. In addition to that, that's just super useful if you're trying to stay alive, or like, see, I probably would have died if he would have shot me. So it's just huge for staying alive, or being able to reflect that damage back onto them. Then coming in, why Genji's probably the hardest attacker to use is his ultimate. Because it's not like other ultimates where they just do a ton of damage, either auto aim or just area of effect. But you kind of have to aim it, right? Like, if you just use it straight up and then walk into the enemy team, you're probably gonna die. But if you can get behind them and use it, or pair it with someone's ult, there's a good chance that you're gonna get one of those quad or sextuple or whatever kills. So yeah, it's just real hard to use, but it does a ton of damage, and if you pair it out with the swift strike and reflect and you just use all your abilities, it's just fluid and everything works together. It's kind of like an art, honestly. It's like, if you can just use everything when you're using your ultimate, then you're set, and you're gonna be one of those pro Genjis. Like, I wouldn't consider myself even on the same scale as Seagull or any of them pro players, but like, there's games where you'll just feel like you're in the big leagues, you know, like, we all have those moments. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for me. Genji, my favorite hero, in the number 2 slot. Let's get into number 1. Yes, that's right, number 1 slot, we got Sombra. Now, I'm sure there's some head scratchers out there, but just hear me out, alright? So, Jeff Kaplan himself was saying how people have yet to fully, like, realize how to play Sombra. He said she's sort of just like to get in there, disrupt, and then get out, you know? But if that's true, like, I'm agreeing with him there. Like, she's totally meant for that. She is not meant to be like 76 or Genji. Or really, she's just in her own category as one of the assaults. But you'll see in this clip, like, she does a lot of damage. You hit them in the head enough, like, they're gonna go down. Like, you can kill tanks, you can 1v1 people, all that. So just be aware of that. Like, her gun is pretty powerful if you're good with it. If you can aim, then you're gonna kill people. But then in addition to that, her hack, recently it got a buff, so the cooldown went from like 10 seconds to 8 seconds, I think. So that was pretty useful. And then just another thing is, I don't know if you saw, but there was a Roadhog ulting on just me, and I was able to throw the Charan's locator and get out of there and basically just stay alive. So that's just another reason why she's extremely useful, because you can use that to get in and out of situations faster, and along with the, if you pair that with getting invisible and then just sprinting to wherever you need to get. So just be aware of that. She's so useful. Just try her out, give her a couple of games. If you find out it's not for you, then it's not for you. But yeah, in my opinion, honestly, the most difficult character to master, let alone just play in general and help your team out. But yeah, and then coming down to her ultimate, the EMP, it stops any ability mid-use, so that is extremely useful. Like, I was a second late stopping that hook there, but you know, it still stopped it. Like, it stops him from healing, stops people from getting barriers, that sort of thing. So just knowing when to use that and how far it goes, it's basically like the same size as a Diva ult, I want to say. But yeah, and then just be aware of your hack. Use it constantly on enemies and health packs, because that's a good way to build your ult, is healing yourself and your teammates through your health packs. Alright guys, let me know what you think. If you agree with this list, leave a like, subscribe. I'm doing stuff like this all the time.